Yo, 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 what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Nate the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessings. I'll give y'all some time to tune in case these notifications ain't go out. Probably not gonna be on here too crazy tonight neither. Just wanna chime in on a couple of little things. Um, First things first, hopefully everybody had a blessed and productive Monday. Hopefully everybody smoothly got through the work day. Hopefully everybody enjoyed their weekends overall. Those celebrating birthdays. Again, hopefully y'all enjoyed yourselves and made the best of it. Appreciate everybody that tuned in Saturday for the conversation. Definitely was a good one. Those that missed it, you can definitely catch this replay. Um, Few things, topics of discussion. Uh, so apparently, wait before I go left. So apparently, our good mayor of New York City has found himself in the ringer. Apparently, indicted on bribery is something else. But to be honest with you, I got my fair say so on that part. Um, hasn't been the greatest because again, man, technically did just get into office recently, but he hasn't been the worst neither. But the one thing I can say is that there is certain issues where the people will look at you funny because it's like, bro, what do you know? Now, do I believe in those charges that are being brought up against him? Nah, I don't believe it. But again, you'll never know until all the evidence has come out and everything is made public. But I've also noticed this too about people, especially those in high positions, or at least getting into them high positions. You still got to play a game. You still gotta nod your head and say yes, sir, no, sir, when it comes to certain politics. Now, again, the fact that you being charged with these crimes and really haven't done much outside of, I'll give him that much. He tried to stand his ground and basically go against the administration as far as what was going on with the migrants. Now, like I told somebody, anytime you decide you want to try to raise your voice and opinion, especially when it comes to these high ups, 9 out of 10, you are going to get a lot of backlash. Susanna, baby, you're going to receive a lot of backlash. Why? Because the thing is, who are you to try to question any form of authority, right? But it's not so much as questioning authority. It's standing your ground when you're supposed to. And again, when you know there are things that could definitely be detrimental, especially to certain cities, yeah, any mayor or governor should be standing up. It doesn't matter. When you are standing against the organization that's just going right at this time frame, what you expect to happen? Serious, baby. Frugal, baby. Again, you can't blame somebody for everything that the predecessor did. One thing I always realized. Because see, it's the thing. Anytime somebody gets into office, whether they stay full terms or not, the next person coming in is going to have to take over or step in and do what the other people didn't get a chance to do. And that is the thing. I can't say he's a terrible mayor because, again, he ain't been in here too long. He's not the best neither. I mean, because there's certain things he could have overruled or he could have really easily demolished if he did. So this is where people will start looking at it from. But again, you can't expect somebody to come into office and basically try to restructure everything that's been kind of unorganized. You know, coming in November's the elections. James, what's going on, my guy? The elections is coming soon. You know, and these elections to some degree is important because again, it's basically who do you vote for? Who do you choose? Be honest with you, there's a lot of you that just need to follow your gut instinct and not just jump on a bandwagon because people are saying this is what it is about this person. You know, doesn't matter if you Republican, Democrat, Independent, or whatever that other party is. It don't matter. You are supposed to try to vote the right type of people in there. Don't try to just vote notable names in or no. Really check on the background of a person and see what's what. No. In my all in all honest opinion, I think those charges are felonious because again, the only reason why you're bothering that man now is because he stood up. He was probably the main one who really stood up and tried to really, even to the point of trying to keep people out. You know, He's the only one that really stood up. Everybody kind of stood up, but then just allowed things to happen. No, he tried to keep his foot on the gas until shit still just got out of control. Like I said, anytime you decide to voice your opinion or stand your ground, especially against a stronger, higher power when it comes to those situations, you're always going to get some form of backlash and some form of hate, or you're just going to get some form of slander. Is it slanderous? Yeah, because again, we don't know for a fact if there was any bribery or extortion involved in the charges. That we don't know that for sure. Again, we are not in these people's pockets. We are not in their purses, so we don't know what the fuck is going on. Part of my language, but it's just as sad because again, anytime notable names have decided to do what they felt was right, look what they got. You know, and some of those people still stood on their ground regardless of what they was going through because that's what you're supposed to do. You don't allow people, even if they are in a higher position, to try to overrun and overthrow who you are. You know? It's just something to think about. You know, it's just something to really think about. Now, you standing up on your principles. Guess what? This is what's going to come. You're going to get a lot of slander, a lot of hate. You're going to get a lot of side eyes, so on and so forth. But the main people that know what it is and have been supportive of the movement, they're going to continue to support you. They're going to continue to be in your corner. Why? Because again, you're standing on principle more than anything. That right there should show you that look, one person stood up to an establishment, even though he taking some backfire right now. But it should be like that with a lot of us. We should all be able to raise up, stand up, and voice our opinions and shoot. Actually try to place the right people we can place into these positions. Again, it does take solid effort. It does take just all in all strength and numbers. There's things that they try not to give you info on or try to give you warning on because again, how you think you want to be able to control the masses if part of your tactics are fumbling right through the hands. You know, like I said, prime example, I could say this. They try to make that C virus like this was going to be the next bubonic plague or the next yellow fever. And yeah, even though it's still lingering around, it's not the numbers that you was expecting. You know, a lot of those people did not perish because of COVID. Some of them already had health issues, you know. So it was only going to be the inevitable, even if they didn't catch contact, you know. But yeah, you know, they try to make this seem like this was going to be the next disastrous plague to kill humans. Excuse me for saying it that way. But then you come to find out the numbers is not even in the it's not even in the triple digits. And it's a if it is, it's a low triple digit number. So them numbers they thought it was going to do, it didn't do it. So like I said, just pay attention to a lot of different things within this next month and a half or the next 2 months before election. And I'm sorry because I'm speaking not just from a logical sense, I'm speaking from experience. Every couple years, think about it when it comes near election time or any type of voting, it's always some form of neurovirus or disease or some autoimmune whatever to where it's either trying to kill people, it's disabling them, so on and so forth. Just pay attention. You'll see that shit because think about it. Prior to 4 years ago, before this dude got in office, wasn't there another quote unquote, no, not just COVID, it was something else they was trying to say that was spreading rapidly and is killing people. And then they stopped talking about that. You know, just pay attention. Just pay very close attention because there are going to be a lot of things that they put out there, and a lot of it is going to be distractions. You know, word, what's going on, my guy? I already know if y'all just tuned in at the like button. But yeah, you know, it's going to be a lot of that. Pay attention to everything that's going on because again, every time it comes towards elections and stuff like that, look what you get. Talking about a new disease or a new sickness or a new something they trying to put into play. Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying. I forgot what it was called. Then they said something about what was it, Legionnaires. They was trying to like. Then it was monkeypox. Then it was this. Like it's every time there's some form of election, whether it's a major election or just elections when it comes to Senate, House, and everything else, you're always going to get some form of distraction being placed right in front of you. You know, again, we got to see past the distractions because that's what they want to do. A lot of times they going to try to scare the hell out of the people. See, like prime example right now, he trying to quote unquote scare a mayor who just technically got into office recently. Why? Because he stood his ground about how he felt about the migrants and them coming in and basically taking over. Because again, you're trying to push them into big cities where there's already enough to the population in these cities. You know, how could you? That's almost like you trying to stuff a bunch of. That's like you trying to stuff 30 extra kids into a class that's already full. You can't do it. You know, it's impossible to do it. But that's the truth. It's impossible to try to stuff and cram extra people into a vicinity when you know there ain't no space for them to do it. You know, and I felt that man did some right because again, he stood his ground. Like, look, can't do this. Give me 1 second, y'all. Appreciate you for dropping those links, serious baby. Working hard in these rats in the streets, baby. But yeah, this is what I'm saying. Think about that. Every time something comes along, they try to hit us with a distraction. And if it's not a health issue that they try to hit us with, it's a whole bunch of scandals and gossip that's taking place. Like prime example, you know, everybody been going hard with this Diddy situation, right? My fault. I hope your bike blow up, motherfucker. My bad. Loud ass bike for nothing. Nah, but see, this is what I'm saying though. Everybody was focused and having a say so's about the Diddy situation, right? But none of that energy was diverted to other ones who got caught in the same type of scandals. You know, one thing I do hate, and I'm sorry it's a strong word, but this is directed towards my melanated folks. The one thing I do hate is that we'll have energy to try to nip and pick and destroy at each other, but we don't have that same energy when there's anybody else outside of us that got caught doing the same shit. Make it make sense, you know? You're gonna cover one person, you should cover everybody that's been a part of those type of scandals. You got people that's in Senate seats, people that's in Congress, people that's in higher powers that's been in the same situation. None of that energy was presented or going towards that in people's directions. It's crazy. Nah, it's a whole fact. You ain't saying nothing wrong, word. Nah, it's the truth. Gotta stop focusing our energy and focusing our attention on things that ain't meaning us no good. And it's not trying to sound funny, but come on now. Every time we hear something about a scandal, we quick to jump in arms and have a million views and opinions about that. But when there's things that we need to do to try to keep a structure and try to keep things within the community flowing, we can't come together for that. Like I said, we quick to try to destroy each other, but we ain't quick to try to build and rise up. I had to say that to my melanated folks because, again, to a degree, I've seen other groups of people outside of us can come together, build, grow, even if they don't like each other. They can come together, build, grow, and focus on the main things at hand. We need to start focusing on the most important things. The distractions ain't one of them, you know? Instead of worrying about Diddy and his situation or worrying about Harvey Weinstein or any of these other name brand celebrities, how about you worry about the situations going on in your own community? You got people within your community that's running around almost doing the same exact shit. None of y'all are standing up and making sure that your community is safe on that level. Some of y'all could be walking around with people or hanging out with people that's doing the unthinkable. Y'all not thinking about that though. You know. See, right now, the time right now, we should be trying to focus on what the hell is going to happen after those elections, and really start paying attention to everything that happens after, because we don't know who's going to be in office. In my opinion, I still feel this way. We won't see a female president in office until we long gone. And even if we do, we got to make sure that this person is really for the people. And that's what I'm saying. With me, I've never seen race as a high dictation of what's good for the people. We could have had an all black president, prime example. I ain't talking about Obama. We could have had an all black president that could have been a quote unquote Ray Ray or Pookie that decided to do something and decide to, make real moves. If that person is shown that they're dedicated and loyal to trying to, you know, reach the people and, try to uplift, we might as well put that dude in office before we just put somebody else in. See, look, I'm not not really a supporter of politics because again, politics don't serve us. The politics a lot of times work against us. Some of y'all are not reading into the things that they are trying to put into law, or you're not searching up things that you need to search up. And trust me, you're gonna need to do that because again, some of these things you think you're voting for that's supposed to be good for you might actually damage or cripple you. You know, nah, it's a whole fact, bro. Uh, there's a lot of people who could have ran in that third party, but you know how they do it. Because think about it, you technically are supposed to have three people debating. You're supposed to have your Democrat. You also supposed to have your Republican, but you're supposed to have somebody from the independent party as well. So, but you know what it is when it comes to the independent party and stuff. You know how they do it. If that person doesn't have that much of a stronghold or buzz or anything along those lines, they ain't worried about that person. They definitely not, and they show that time and time and again. Because there was maybe two elections I've watched closely when I was younger. Jared, what's going on, my guy? Two of them I watched personally, and I noticed how the third person who was supposed to be running, they either one of them I know for a fact he quote unquote he conceded. The other one they just didn't want him, and look what happened. You only had two people left. Technically, it's supposed to be three people having a debate. Because think about it. When is the last time we had an independent president that came from an independent party? I'll wait on that answer real quick. My bad. You know, I had to get this ice machine ready, man. No, but come on now. When is the last time we've had any form of an independent person that was president? You know, those are things you need to look at. Because think about it. There's some of y'all who you don't know who to vote for because my thing is if you are already stuck within the party, yeah, you can change parties if you please. But then again, why not try to go somewhere where there's a person who really is for the people, you know? And that's why I said we need to start doing that. Get the right people who are really for the people and try to get them, and try to get them in these try to get them in the offices. Try to get them on the ballot so they could get voted for. It's only right. Because some of y'all crying about what the Democratic Party is doing. Some of y'all crying about what the Republican Party is doing. Some of y'all are just crying what both parties are doing. But what y'all not crying for is the fact that, again, there is supposed to be a third person running outside of just two. Because, again, then what's the point of having an independent vote or independent party if you're not even going to try to put them on the ballot? And I can say two of those elections I watched, the ones that was quote unquote independent party, one of them actually could have still kept himself going. He had the funds to do it. He had the funds to do it. He could have ran independent and he still could have did whatever. But then again, like I said, there's always politics when it comes down to that. Like prime example, even if you decide you want to try to vote different ones into the Senate, Congress, and all of that, make sure that the people that you are voting for aren't against the people. Not everybody you vote for is going to be for the people. Prime example, a lot of y'all voted for Biden, but then guess what? Look what happens. You know? Yeah, I see. Thank you for reminding me. 'Cause I did say it was the Green Party. I definitely forgot about the damn Tea Party, though. Shit. But it's crazy. Again, you got people that are in those realms right now. Why you not trying to push them? I know what it is though. A lot of people fear evolution. A lot of people also fear change and progress. I mean, look at it. Some of y'all who cry about things never being changed or never being done, but you're not willing to get on this forefront and help change. That's just like if they deciding to give y'all a fund for the community to do something, instead of y'all all focusing on just giving that money right back. Focus on the things you need to focus on. All right, we was able to get this and attain this. Now let's try to get back what we need in our communities. Sit down and have a discussion. Like I said, have a general talking discussion about what you need, what you don't need. It's not about wants no more. We want a lot of things, but we refuse to do the things we need to get them. Like some of y'all, you want different people from different parties to run for president. Grant that. But then again, y'all all got to be focused and y'all all got to be willing to compromise and again ride with the person who you claim you want to see do good. The only reason why I was bringing some of this up tonight is I was saying, you know, there's certain situations where if a person is coming into something new, you can't expect them to try to unravel and fix everything that was raveled up. You know, like prime example with the presidency. You can't expect somebody else to come into this term right now, right? And try to fix or try to restructure the shit that's already been damaged by Biden himself. So it don't matter if it's Trump or Kamala that come into that office, or if it's an independent that come into that office. They're gonna have to try to unscrew basically some of the things that got screwed over. I know whoever do get into the seat, I know they mostly gonna try to focus on how they, you know, fix this migrant situation. Because I'm gonna tell you this right now, in certain cities, the migrants have taken over apartment buildings, like they the owners, they the superintendents and all. You have some who have come here and will try to do the utmost or try to act uppity. Can't act uppity when you are coming here for solace. You coming here to try to rebuild and re-strengthen. I heard one person complaining and crying, and I know this was a person that wasn't from here. My only thing I said to them was, well, if it's so bad here, why did you break your neck and your family's neck to come over here? If it's so bad over here, you should have stayed where you was at. You had a better chance of surviving. If you feel that way, again, certain things you can't take for granted. Your freedoms and your liberties, you should never take for granted. We have some degree of freedom, right? But in the same token, we also being suppressed on certain things. Because the minute, prime example, I could use us using any form of social media platform as our voice and our outlet. They'll allow you to some degree to voice your opinion and state whatever and say whatever. But the minute they feel it's something that's going to be going against the grain, that's when they got a problem. Or if it's something that you just stand firm on, they got a problem. We gotta, that's another thing we gotta really start fighting for: our voices and our views to be heard. You know, that's what we really need to focus on. You know, we can't sit back and focus on distractions that mean us no good. Because just like I said, we focusing on celebrity drama and celebrity death and everything else. We're not focusing on what the hell could happen in the next couple months or within the next couple years. And again, there's some things I can honestly say, like, I don't have too much of a strong opinion on. It's not even a strong opinion, it's just a view. Like, how do we get the right people into the ballots? How do we get the right people to get noticed? How do we get them the notarization that they need? So they could come out strong. There's people who probably have been trying to fight for us for the longest, and we would never know because they are still stuck in certain seats and certain positions. You know. But I was saying that instance too for those who are trying to get into politics, if that's what you really want to do. You got to remember one thing is for certain, two things for sure. You stand your ground, especially when there's things that need to be done. You don't fall back. You don't allow, again, that higher ups to try to cripple you or damage you. Stand your ground on things you really stand firm on. See, and then this is the thing though. The things that some people stand firm on, you try to give us hell about. Because the main thing you'll try to say is that um, we're being biased, or we're being hateful. It's almost everything when it comes down to simple talks. Some of these talks is hard to have, even on a political level, because you're gonna have people who feel a type of way, especially if they're coming from the other side of the community. Again, you'll deem it as hate speech or biased or you know hate attacks. It's not the case. But there is some things that you're not going to sit here and try to keep force feeding and trying to corrupt people on. People hate when you stand on your ground when it does come to that, but you have to. Again, all for people living how they want to live when they become adults. But when you are, again, essentially trying to put this on the kids, that's a problem. When you trying to confuse the kids to all certainties, that's a problem. James, number 8, what's going on? You know, and I've said this one time before, and I'll say it again. There's things that you're not going to be able to override or overlook. You can't. And again, when you stand firm on principles, morals, and anything along those lines, guess what? Got to stay with that. Some people are going to tell you things, and they're going to express how they feel. It's not so much as them being hateful or being dismissive or even being rude and disrespectful. No. But it's rude and disrespectful, in my opinion, when again you try to force feed and try to manipulate situations. I can say this, and I'm going to use this as a prime example. Some people who are comic book fanatics, some of y'all not even reading the comics no more because y'all already see what it is. You see what they promoting. They are messing up classic storylines. They rewrite a lot of storylines to fit the narrative of what's going on now. Prime example, I was kind of upset and stopped reading a comic that I love to read. These are comics I've read, and these are comics that kept me, under wraps as a child to a degree. Now, explain to me in this comic, how do you explain that a shapeshifter was able to basically alter and manipulate their own genetics to where they get a girl pregnant? And this is a girl we speaking about. A girl shapeshifter got a female pregnant. How does that happen? And how do you manage to put that in a book that kids could probably be reading? That's what I'm saying. Trying to confuse them like that to think this could happen. Well, if a girl can um, manipulate, or if she could alter her genetics, no. Even if you thought about altering certain things, there's other things you're not going to be able to alter. Your genetics is one of them. But see, when you have talks like this, to a degree, people even get up in the uproar. But again, the reason why it's a problem is because you're targeting kids that read these books. Yes, we know we got teens and adults that read comics as well too, but you're more focusing on targeting the kids with a lot of the stuff that we see nowadays. You don't think that's a problem? That's just like them trying to alter the books that they already got in school to include stuff that they know for a fact was never included or that was never thought of. You don't do that. Again, let kids grow naturally, let them learn naturally. Whatever they decide to do when they get older, that's on them. And that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. It's really crazy that you could think to do that. Liz, baby. Again, there's a lot of books that we've read, come up with, that now they are rewriting, trying to recreate. And look, even that could cause confusion. Child might read that, especially what's being written in the book, and actually think that's what's plausible. But for most people, we already know it's just fantasy. It's fantasy, it's make believe, all of that. But for those who don't think it's make believe, that's when the confusion will come into play. Because let me say this again: a woman cannot alter her genetics, and she cannot get another woman pregnant. So I wish y'all would stop trying to put that in certain books, certain comics, because again, you're showing confusion. That's something that needs to stop. All the stuff you're trying to include into these comic books, you forgot. Comics be read by everybody, but a majority of the time you're gonna get kids. Because what you think the parents is getting their kids, especially those who are into comic books, cards, and trading and stuff like that. Frankie, what's going on, my guy? Come on there. You're gonna sit here and tell me that you're gonna reconstruct the book, and then in that same book, you're gonna try to manipulate all situations? Can't do that. Anita, baby, when you came up in here, baby, and that's the problem there. You know, Even on that notion, we are not fighting to say, nah, this is stuff that shouldn't be implemented, stuff that should not be placed in front of, because look, that's not giving nothing but confusion. I think that's the problem there. Again, you know, have to realize that the things you put out there, especially if you keep trying to force feed it, yes, it will cause some form of confusion. It will cause question. And again, I'm not trying to sound funny or even sound hateful on that notion, but I just feel there's certain things that y'all should not poison, especially when it comes down to some of the nonsense you're trying to poison us with. I'm sorry, but it's true. Like even right now, certain things you see in here, you know for a fact there's no facts to that. But they will try to make you believe that it is facts. Now again, a woman could alter her physical, she can alter her physical structure, but she can't alter and manipulate her genetics. The genetics will always be the same. You're still a female, so therefore you're not going to be able to spread and give the seed of life. You can hold it, but you're not going to be the one that's basically doing. That's what I'm saying. Like you just We got to start standing up on the things that are needed. Because again, right now, we in the era of not just social media antics, but chaos and confusion for real. Like I said, when you have become an adult and you decide to live whatever life you live, cool. But it's wrong when you're trying to force your lifestyle or force a lifestyle onto people that it's not needed. Like I was saying, that situation about Florida State saying it's mandatory that you got to learn about this in order to pass a damn class. Like, nah, that's not the way you do that. And especially when they young like that. Like, come on now. What the hell does a 6 or 7 year old need to know about transgenderism and all that shit? Like, come on, let's keep it real. There's things that, again, shouldn't be focusing on giving knowledge to those kids until they're old enough to. And actually, the parents should be doing that, not you. See, whereas a parent, especially a logical and sensible parent, is going to tell you truth and tell you what it is, others is going to tell you what they think they feel is going to make you feel happy at that juncture. And again, you can't sit here and cause chaos and confusion by saying certain things like that. A woman could get a woman pregnant. A man could get a man pregnant. You can't say no crap like that and actually think people are going to believe that. And there are some people who, oh, shit, they done been force fed the madness already since young. So yeah, those are going to be the ones that feel, oh, well, this can happen. Oh, this can be done. No, it can't. Man serves his purpose just like a woman serves her purpose. They both serve a purpose together by creating and keeping the life cycle flowing and going. But when you are trying to alter that, that's a problem. Another thing I was going to speak about to a degree, because like I said, there are certain things that need to start really looking at. Some people have already been hit to it, spoken about it. Some people even try to fight for something better. But again, we need numbers. Look at one of the most weaponized things that they have done as far as division and separation in the household. Let's think about that. Child support being one of them. Because child support has been one way in certain instances to create and cause damage. See, I'm going to say this. There's some of you women, prime example, who you knew the person you had a kid with was a deadbeat from Jump Street. You didn't want to take heed to it. But you didn't utilize your voice and your power the way you were supposed to. So I've always felt like this. And y'all have heard me say this a couple times. Child support should go to those who really are not being taken care of by either mother or father. Period. But it shouldn't be always used as a direct weapon. But see, this is the thing I've seen too. There's some of y'all women who will let the deadbeat or let the quote unquote deadbeat live. You won't bother them. You won't do much. You won't try to raise up the purpose of child support. None of that. But when it's a dude that's actually willing to be a part of, or a dude that's willing to actually be there for, you will try to get them for every little penny and dime. You using that quote unquote weapon the wrong way. And that's what I'm saying. Think about things like that. You know, there's things that need to be changed. Like again, they need to change the way how they do things as far as giving people, especially these single moms, child support. Some of these women have caused their own situations to be single mothers. So my thing is, if that person initiated the breakup and initiated everything else, why? And then, especially when that person that they just got rid of was actually they rock and solid, foundation. Why should they be entitled to any form of child support? No. If that man was doing what he was supposed to be doing from Jump Street, let that man keep doing what he doing. And again, child support technically is supposed to be for children, not for grown-ups. And there's some of y'all who will try to use that as a weapon too. Oh, that baby need this and the baby need that, and you late on payments and you yada yada yada. You're spazzing like it's your money. You're spazzing like that money is just for you and not for the child at hand. That's something that some of y'all got to stop doing too. You got men who are paying child support and still trying to take care of their kids, but you are messing that up. Again, trying to use that weapon from the system, but you're using it the wrong way. The fellas who really are trying to be a part of and actually are trying to, do the best they can, leave them be. Let them breathe. Let them actually do what they're supposed to do. And I never understood that. The deadbeat fathers or the deadbeat mothers who should be really getting taken for child support, some of y'all men and women are not doing that. But you're quick to go get somebody that you know for a fact is stable. Make that make sense. Again, they need to fix that structure because, again, there's some people who didn't deserve it and still don't deserve it because, again, look how they had to go through these hurdles and hoops just to get it. Like I said, if you haven't proved beyond a reasonable doubt that the person you trying to gain child support funds from is a deadbeat, if you know that person ain't a deadbeat, why would you try to stick them where it hurts? Some of y'all would do it because you know the person that ain't shit ain't gonna get a job or might 9 out of 10 get an off the books job, so there's no recollection of anything. But see, again, these are the ones you're supposed to really be going at their necks. Especially the ones who deny their children. You know damn well them children look like you. Those are the ones that's supposed to get hit for child support and get hit crazy. Not the ones who are actually doing, not the ones that are actually providing, and not the ones that actually want to see the family structure stay the way it is. See, again, some of y'all listening to outside personalities, whether it's radio, social media, whatever. Again, a lot of y'all are following the machine. You ain't following your own. You're not following your own thinking process and saying, well, you know what? I'm kind of in a good position. I don't need to mess this position up. And again, some of y'all causing your own situations to be bad off. The minute you and a person have some form of a disagreement, even if there is a child involved, child support should not be the first thing that come to your mind. Oh, well, since we ain't together, I'm going to get this nigga for some money. No. How about if we still are on good terms and I'm still trying to do what I need to do for mine? Let me breathe and let me do what's necessary. And that's the truth, serious. I mean, like I said, using these kids as pawns. Oh, in order for me to do this or in order for me to gain this, I got to do this. I knew one or two people who was paying child support and they were still living with the girl and all of that. Or the girl was living with them. So my thing is, again, how you taking me for something when I got the household? I'm the one paying the bills. I'm the one that's making sure our child is straight. Like, that's what I'm saying. Some of y'all just think that's the easiest and the quickest way to try to get a come up. And like I said one time before, if it wasn't for child support, if it wasn't for social security, disability, anything along those lines, even tax refunds, a majority of y'all women would have to realize this shit is not a game. Shit, we got to get ourselves in order. Because now what we don't got none of this stuff that prime example. When they was talking about trying to eliminate child support and some of that other shit. Some of y'all went crazy when y'all heard that. What? They trying to now yeah, some of the fellas was happy, especially the ones who, like I said, are the good ones that are going through the bullshit. But just imagine if they took away half of these things that you women weaponize, guess what? Y'all would have to be just like most of us logical men and get a job. You should always have some form of your own shit anyway. But a lot of y'all wouldn't be getting over on the system like that. You wouldn't be getting over on good people. So I'm saying they use certain things and they still using it right now. And it's a key weapon of keeping us in a slumber, and keeping the household separated and divided. And again, if they're gonna implement certain things on those natures, then guess what? They honestly need to redo the system, redo it. Again, make sure that the people that are applying or trying to apply for these things, make sure that this is what it is. Make sure that the person that they quote unquote have a child with is actually a deadbeat before you just try to go off of hearsay. There's a lot of different things that can be fixed from the inside out. Again, if the people get together. If the people would focus on the most important things at hand, some of these things that people are crying about now can be changed from the inside out. Again. I know that part serious, but it's rare for a man to do that. Not unless that man knows for a fact, like, this is what it is. Like, I've seen a dude, I knew one dude who they tried to give him hell because he kept his child away from his mother. But in the same token, how can I bring you around your mother when your mother is strung out on drugs? Your mother is out here doing all sorts of things she ain't supposed to be doing with her body. She not even trying to make sure you're straight. So how do you want me to bring somebody around somebody who's irresponsible and crashing out? In certain situations, I can't bring you around my child if you're violent. That's not going to happen either. It's rare when men do it, but when we do it, we try. Most men will do it because we know what's right. Others that do that shit, that's because, hey, they got that feminine mentality too, to a degree. They are doing exactly what they've seen either their mothers or aunts or grandmothers do. No, I know, serious, but I'm just saying in general. I know where you're going with it. Yeah, there are some men who have kept the mothers away from children, but it's mostly every time it's fathers that are being kept away from their kids, even when they trying their best to do the best. Didi baby, y'all already know if y'all just tuned in at the like button, and if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. But in certain scenarios, yeah, they will do that. They will try to give you hell because, oh, what you doing the wrong thing. You can't hide these people from. No, it's not about hiding them from the parent, but it's about making sure that they are still safe. Like, prime example, I wouldn't be able to drop you off to your mother if your mother don't even got a damn house to stay in her damn self. Where the hell am I supposed to drop you at? You know? That's why I said when it comes to certain situations, start thinking, you know? And again, they need to restructure that. Child support should only be for those who really need it. Not the ones that deserve it, the ones that need it. Because, yeah, we do have irresponsible men out here who are laying up, creating babies. Not saying that that's not happening. But we also got irresponsible women that are giving it up to different people. And these are the outcomes of that. Again, your body is meant to be preserved to some degree. You should preserve yourself in the best light. But again, that part right there, I feel when it comes to child support, that need to be restructured. Um, the way they do the voting system, the ballots, all of that shit, that needs to be restructured. There's a lot of different things that we are coming across that need to be restructured already. When are we going to get the chance to do that? Or when are we all going to stand up together and rise up and do it? It shouldn't take a real major or natural disaster for a lot of people to start coming up in arms. No, I didn't think better, do better. You know. Hope you feeling that. Hope you feel better, Anita, baby. But you gotta think about that. Things we know we can change from the inside out. Let's focus on changing it. Stop focusing again on Hollywood distractions and distractions that we know are being made up by the media. You know, we show more pride and we definitely show more strength when we learn to do that. And then you're gonna have some who they're not going to get on board with what you're doing because again, they are the ones we speak about. These are the ones that are scared of progression. These are the ones that are scared of evolution, change, and these are the ones we got to look out for. And I told somebody, you can't cry about certain things, prime example, in your community when you're part of the reason why it's being destroyed. How can you cry about certain scenarios when you're part of the destruction? Some people will cry, oh, it's crazy, they graffiti, they do this, they do that. Yeah, but you allow them to do it. The minute you see prime example graffiti that look like it's gonna, and again, y'all set the value down. Y'all set the property value down when you do certain things, even on that level. Graffiti and vandalism and destruction. You're lowering the property value every time you do so. But in certain instances, again, there's people who know what's going on and refuse to stand in or stand up. And honestly, in certain scenarios, it's always the elders and maybe a small handful of young folks who are trying to combat certain situations. Everybody else will just turn a blind eye to it. Oh, it ain't my problem. It don't got nothing to do with me. But you should feel that way because again, you live here. See, some of y'all feel like just because you live in the community that the politics don't affect you. They do affect you. Because again, you're there. And if your plan is to be getting from out of there, then you need to figure out what's the best course of plan. And even if you plan to stay within your community, again, you need to be a part of the change. You need to be part of, again, trying to, reconstruct things that we need, things that are going to be progressive for us in the future. Cool Gamer, what's going on, my guy? Yeah, I know, serious. That's how some of them do think that. Some of them really think that just because, these politics don't affect me, they do affect you. Prime example, like I was saying about the New York City housing votes and some of these complexes. Those votes are important because guess what? That's going to be the determination of whether they're going to keep New York City housing as public or private. If they decide to go private, like I said, a lot of y'all are going to cry. Especially those who live there, you're going to cry. Especially if you didn't make the right vote. Oh, you're going to cry and you're going to suffer for it. You know, that's why I said there's certain things you just can't lie on your ass and wait for things to get changed. You got to be out there and try to force the change. Like I said, prime example, you want new and improved people on the ballot. You want people to be heard and be seen. You want new names or people who really are for the people.
then y'all all have to stand up in numbers and make sure y'all get these people on the ballots. See, again, there's some of y'all who refuse to do certain things because, again, you're going from a personal standpoint and not a logical standpoint. We got to be more logical nowadays. We got to stop in our feeling shit. You know, this emotional roller coaster, basically. That has to stop. It's like I was saying a long time ago for some of y'all. How you expect these kids to learn something greater and better when they come on and this is what they're seeing? You know, there's certain situations that we know for a fact is the reason why, some of the things are changing drastically. And again, that's because the people are not standing up and voicing their opinions. The people are not standing up and fighting for what's right. And the people who are fighting, they can only do but so much. Like I said, things work better when it's in numbers, not just trying to single handedly do shit. Yeah, there's certain scenarios and certain things you could get done single handedly. But when it comes to major improvements and things that could be impactful, it takes numbers. It takes the right collective of people and the right numbers, again, to get these people on the fucking voting ballots. You know, in my opinion, the way the elections are being done nowadays, it's not about politics. It's not about what could be done. It's not about what should be done. Right now, when it comes down to politics, at least from what I've seen the past 20 or so years, it's all about who's popular, who's more powerful, who got more connections. That's what it seemed like to me. Because again, you can vote anybody in the office. Does that mean they necessarily going to do something right for the people? Might not. And again, some of y'all need to start looking into some of these quote unquote laws that they're trying to pass into law now. Even old bylaws that really wasn't a thing. Better watch out for it. D-Town, baby. Welcome in, welcome in. Appreciate you, sis. I think some people have lost faith in the presidential system. Yeah, it's the truth though, because some of this stuff hasn't changed. It doesn't matter who you placing in the office. The things you think these people are going to do, they might not be able to do. Or it's not that it can't be done, but it's going to be impossible to do because again, you're being watched. Appreciate you, frugal baby. Don't worry, I gotta catch your workout shit in the morning. Don't worry, sis. I'm gonna be up in there. Oh, save a dumbbell for me. Save a dumbbell for me. I need one. I need one. But again, this is the problem. Everybody just said, well, ain't no need to do this. It ain't gonna change. How can it change again when the numbers are not being impacted? You mean to tell me you expect, prime example, you expect a building, prime example, to be painted and done within a certain time frame? That's just like if the building is already up. Now it's just about what you're doing as far as the interior and the exterior. It shouldn't take long, right? But some situations might be a little fallback situation. Why? Because again, y'all might bump heads on certain things. Y'all might bump heads on the color, prime example. Y'all might bump heads on certain things that you want to initiate within that building. Again, you should focus on the most important things. The most important thing is trying to get somebody within these offices that are actually going to try to take care of the people the best way. Yeah, you can't save everybody because some people are still going to make their own decisions. But again, you can't cry about certain things when you're not allowing your voices to be heard. That's something y'all really need to take into consideration right there. Some of y'all stop doing certain things because you feel the processes haven't changed. You feel the process is not getting nowhere. The reason why the process is not getting nowhere is, again, because we are not showing the strength in numbers. We are not showing that we are prepared and ready to fight for the things we are desperately trying to fight for. We're not on that level. At least not now. See, back in the day, there was certain things that we did manage to get done, or we did, we did have a turning eye on and became the focus of turning certain things because, again, we stood together in numbers. We stood together with the main focus at hand, and that main focus was to get the job done, to make sure that whatever necessary goals was needed was achieved. You know why? Back in the day, there was a lot of spots that didn't get closed down, like the learning centers and stuff like that, because you had not just the people outside on the forefronts fighting, trying to keep everything in order. You had people that was working already within the system or within them systems trying to keep things in order as well too. No, I grant that serious. Some people are not strong on politics. I'm not really a I'm not really strong on politics to a degree. But there are some politics that affect us all as a community. So I believe when it do come to certain votes and certain situations, everybody should be on board with it. Prime example. If they was planning on building a casino in your area and you don't even need a casino because you already have one. For some people it's, oh, but they're giving more opportunities for jobs. Yeah, but they're giving more opportunities for crime too. Gotta think about that. There's certain things you're going to implement in your communities that's going to cause and create situations where crimes could occur. A casino is one of them. I don't give a damn how heavily secure they might have it inside. There's nothing stopping somebody from getting caught outside. Gotta think about that. Now, there's certain things I stay away from. I don't talk on or touch on because, again, it goes deep. But there's some things I will speak about because, again, these are things that are technically commonly supposed to be the topics at hand, especially in politics. How do we improve our communities? How do we gain more economic funding? How do we teach, you know, and move forward with things that could be beneficial and prosperous for us in the long run? How do we eliminate certain crimes from continuously happening? How do we continue to keep certain parts of our community safe? That's what I'm saying. It's about knowing when to interact, knowing when to attack, and when to just fall back. But we always get this notion of just falling back because, well, if it ain't disturbing me, if it's not disturbing my family, then F it. But there's going to be situations where it could affect your family. It could affect your pockets. It could affect everything. And then what would you have done then? Just going to be mad, mope, and complain, especially if it already gets passed. Again, there's certain laws that haven't been voted on yet, and there's laws they've been trying to put into play probably since the beginning of time, but cooler heads and logical heads are not allowing it to happen. Now, there are some things that they said they was going to slip into the cracks, and they already did that. But again, in this instance right here, it's time for the people to really start putting their money where their mouth is, basically. You can't cry about change and the driving force and more opportunities for when you're not trying to help and make sure that we get the success of those opportunities. Like I said, you can't be a part of a solution when you're still part of the destruction. So, gotta pick a poison. You gotta pick a battlefield to stand on. Again, the things that have been used as weapons for our destruction and for our downfalls, we need to revert from that. We definitely need to revert from that. See, the problem, like I said before, we have lost our fighting spirit. We feel that our voices are non-valid. We feel like our actions are non-valid. We can never feel that way. I can tell you right now, there's some people right now who have been trying to make change and trying to bring certain things within their communities, and they haven't given up. They are still going hard. Prime example, you got some people that are promoting. There was at least two people. If I see I'm gonna put that down the next time around. There's some people who are promoting their own independent businesses, contracts, and stuff like that. Prime example, it was one. When I get the information, I'm gonna definitely probably post it on the community wall or whatever. They promoting a daycare center, you know, independent daycare center on top of that, especially for those who need it right now. Those who probably working, they can't take their kids with them to work. Their kids probably not old enough to be in school yet. Yeah, you know, but still, even when it comes to those type of situations, do your independent research before you just jump on the bandwagon. You know, exactly, D-Town. And that's the truth, though. You improve your community by forming. Nah, it's a whole fact. Seriously, like, look, both of y'all just said something that was right on point and right where I was getting ready to nail it at. It is truth. The electoral college, but that's something that's always been said. Learn the ins and outs if you want to get into politics, because there's things that you don't even know. It might not be a written whatever, but there's unwritten bylaws that you should always look out for. You know, and to be honest with you, if you're not going to learn the ins and outs of those scenarios, then don't get into it. See, with me, when it comes to politics, my form of speaking on politics is just the shit that we know is destroying us. Things that we are not just being subjected to on the news, but things that we are being subjected to in our own community. It's gotten to a point again where the people within the community don't want to stand up. Like I said, we'll stand up against each other, but we won't stand up against the actual oppression that's being done right in front of us. It's like we cower down. It's like we bow down. You should never bow down to things that you feel strong about, especially when those things are good things. You don't back down. But there's a lot of y'all, again, just think about the things you really want to jump into. And if you really are serious about being impactful and making a commitment to them things, you gotta learn the ins and outs. Prime example, you want to be an advocate and want to work towards making the schools a little bit better, a little more safer. You got to know what you are going against, and you got to know what you're going to be able to bring and present to the people. That's going to give more people that notion to say, "I'm gonna be behind you." You know what? This person really standing on business. I'm supporting this. Again, learn the ins and outs. But there are some schools that honestly don't need metal detectors. But then again, in this day and age, the way things are going down with school shootings and everything, it is imperative to have metal detectors, or at least something along the lines that could dictate or determine that there's some form of weapon in the school, even down to the knives. Truth, baby. But this is what I'm saying though. It is very logical right now. And I mean very logical. That some of y'all do your homework and your research for the things you need to. It's important. Again, it's really important that you do so. Give me 1 second, y'all. This is what I'm saying though. We gotta come to that term that can't keep sitting back and allowing things to be changed in front of our eyes. It's not saying that change is inevitable, because change is inevitable. Everything is going to change. Every season, every reason, it's going to change. But there's certain things that should never change. Like I said, safety and preservation, especially within your community, especially amongst the young, that should have never left out the damn window. Because I could remember a day when if anything happened to an elder, mother, father, or even a child, and I mean an actual good father, good standing man that's not in the streets, oh, it was hell to pay, especially on specific days. Some people thought it was a myth. Some people thought it was BS. No, I assure you that there's certain areas where there were days that there was truces. There was days where it wasn't as much happening as you thought it was going to happen. Hence why some of y'all are still alive today. Hence why a lot of y'all are still breathing. Because there was code and ethics when it came to the community. We seem to have lost that. We lost that structure of ethics. We are allowing certain things to continuously happen, and then we'll get in the uproar when there's no type of justice or some form of change happening. But remember that old saying, "A closed mouth don't get fed." That is true. Closed mouth don't get fed. You can't be boisterous amongst each other, but when it's time to rise up to the real establishment, you whisper. It makes no sense. I'm sorry, but these next couple months are gonna be things to really, really look at, and from all angles, not just on the election tip, but overall in your community. These are the next few months you really have to pay attention and really observe what's going to happen. I'm telling you, there's certain situations, a lot of y'all are not going to be in a happy position. Some people have already prepared themselves or preparing themselves for the worst. Some people are preparing for everything, the worst and whatever is good to come after that. Because don't think just because there's certain things crumbling to the ground that there won't be a real positive restructure and a regrowth. It will be. Again, the right people got to get in position. And also the right people that need to be involved in that situation to happen need to get to it. And yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. You know, we do stand a fighting chance. Because, yeah, I'm not going to lie, there are some terrible things that are already happening now. From those on a religious standpoint, or just therefore religious, from what y'all read, you already see that some of that stuff is being prophesized as is. For those who ain't heavy and just read with common sense, you see what we're talking about. Things that weren't ever really tolerated or accepted, it's now being tolerated and accepted. When do we stand the chance to stand up together on the right forefronts? Question that should be asked for tonight is again, how much has to happen before everybody gets to the notion of doing something correct? Yeah, there's some things we're not going to be able to rectify and even redo. But for everything else, we still got time. You know, a lot of people will sit here and they'll wonder why people keep bringing a strong message or just bringing a strong awareness. Because at some point, that awareness will be key for a lot of y'all. And it's not just going to be one person always bringing awareness. There's multiple people who have brought awareness. The problem is a lot of y'all are not taking heed to that. Everything is still all fun and games. Everything is all just, oh, well, it doesn't affect me. But at some point, I said this, and I still feel it. There's going to be something that affects every damn body. I mean, everybody. And at that point, what's going to be the next course of option? And everything is limited. Something to think about for the night. Oh, shoot. Tomorrow, I'm definitely going to be back for a little light discussion. Little light discussion. No politics involved in nothing, but just something like 22. What's going on? I already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. But think about what was said tonight, though, y'all. That's a whole fact, detail. That is. That's why I always say there's things that we are not in control of that we'll never be in control of. We can't do nothing about those. But for the things that we really can do and the things we really can alter and change, why not change it? Again, we got to get back into that fighting spirit. Again, you won't get any form of results if there's nothing done. See, in times you're going to have to go to war. The worst war, the worst battle that you can fight right now is the battle within. The battle within is tricky. Everything else outside of that, you should be able to just stand on your principles. You know what's right. You know, it's really truthfulness, though. The battle within yourself, trust me, that's a war that's never going to be over. It's never going to be over because, again, you could be going to war with yourself about what you're doing, how you're doing it, how much are you giving, how much are you needing, so on and so forth. A battle to, prime example, keep your community intact. That should be something you want to go for if that's where you want to go with it. The battle of trying to educate and bring awareness on all levels, that's something that should be stood on. That's a battleground that should always be the first one. The strongest thing you're gonna need, awareness and education. Everything else will fall in line. Oh, y'all caught somebody? Y'all caught somebody? Oh, yep. Well, thank y'all for doing that. There you go. There you go. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't forget about you. There you go. You know what I'm saying? Everything else will fall in line. But again, you got to know not just your strengths and weaknesses, but again, you got to know what's right for you and what feels right for you. You'll have some people who try to dictate your flow of life. Don't allow that to happen. What might be right and good for that person might not be right and good for you. What sounds logical to one person might not sound logical to the next. This is why you need to stand on that battlefield. When you bring the knowledge and the awareness of what's really needed, now the people could really just start coming to the table and focusing on something better. Some people are trying to take a shortcut to some form of, ride to the mountaintop. Some people are always trying to take shortcuts in life to get somewhere they think is going to keep them on a high up. Then you rob yourself of blessings and glory when you try to eliminate certain processes. Those processes could be the ones that actually, again, be a key stepping stone and you building the best possible options for your life. But again, think before you do things. And before I get up out of here, because my phone is about to die, apparently, I do want to take the time out to thank everybody that's been a part of the build, still becoming a part of the build. Appreciate y'all that been really supporting and rocking out. You really have been a great stepping stone and also a lesson giver on certain things. Again, you're going to come across a whole bunch of different personalities, so on and so forth. Main thing to remember, and that's even when you building a life, even when you're dealing with things in the community that you're supposed to be coming together on. You're going to come across different people, different views and opinions. But the one thing that should remain more than anything is just all in all respect, dignity, and humbleness. There's a lot of people who don't know how to do that. Hence why they get upset about certain things. Hence why they stay in their feelings. Stay in your feelings. Can't be in your feelings about people who are really trying to give a strong lesson. And again, strong awareness. And if you feel you could do so much better than the person you're trying to be a pain to, then go do it. The time is now, and the time is ticking. Because I know we had at least one in the chat. Didn't matter. Y'all know how I give it up. I'm sour. I'm giving it up sour, especially for those who are celebrating their birthdays. I'm a little bit sour because y'all before the Scorpios, you know that, damn it. Oh yeah, happy birthday. Happy birthday to all the Libra babies right now. I did not forget about you. Not forget about you. Oh wait, let me give y'all the celebration dance. Celebration dance. I'm back, baby. Yeah, time for me to let this phone charge. But you know, great conversation. But yeah, let me get up out of here. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the replay game. Shout out to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. For everybody that was in attendance tonight, y'all already know that love is love and it'll be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. What I do is give you real. That's all I'm gonna do is give you real topics and real bills. And yeah, apologies, man. Yeah, my phone dropped to the whole 1%. God damn. Well, great conversation as always. And again, Yes, it did. Definitely need a charger. Serious. Yes. And yes, I went out. And yes, I appreciate you. I definitely appreciate you for that comment. I was getting ready to respond to it until I got kicked the hell off, but god damn it. But I appreciate you. But again, it's not hard to bring content. You just gotta know what you bringing. And you gotta be consistent. Oh yeah. And you can't be never afraid to stand your ground on what you standing your ground on. So just something to think about though. But let me get up out of here for this phone try to dial me again. Y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. And until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.